What is up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Profit. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. If you're new here, I show you all different kinds of ways to make money. So if you like money, hit that subscribe button. Today we are going to be talking about how to sell on Amazon for beginners. I've gotten a bunch of requests on this video and we just did our how to sell on eBay for beginners video. So today we're going to be diving into Amazon, both FBM and FBA, and everything you need to do to get started. So let's dive right in. First, you're obviously going to need to apply. So I have put that link down below if you don't know where to go for that, or you can just type into Google, apply to be an Amazon seller. Now this can take a little while because you need to give them a lot of information and they need to make sure that it's actually you. It's not as easy as just signing up and selling like eBay or Mercari. They actually can make you jump through quite a bit of hoops, and it can take a couple weeks to get confirmed to be an Amazon seller, but everything you're going to need is your bank account number and bank routing number, a chargeable credit card, a government issued ID, tax information such as social security number or EIN number for LLCs or other companies, and a phone number and address, and they will even have you upload some bills to confirm that address. And then after all this, they just started this like a year ago, they actually schedule you for an in-face interview and go over all the paperwork that you submitted. Basically just another way of confirming that you are who you say you are and everything that you've uploaded. They don't really ask you any questions like an interview. You don't really need to be super prepared for that. Just make sure that you are submitting all the correct paperwork and you should be good to go. They just want to confirm you are who you say you are. So next, how much does it cost to sell on Amazon? This depends on the plan that you select. So they have the individual plan and the professional plan. The individual plan is probably what you should start with. That is a pay per sale. So you pay 99 cents per sale that you make plus the Amazon fees, which is 15%. If you're doing FBM, and it's going to be even more if you do FBA to add the FBA fees onto that, but we're going to get into that a little later. However, if you choose the professional plan, then it's going to run you like $39.99 per month. So if you're selling over $40 a month, that one obviously mathematically checks out and makes more sense. I wouldn't put a ton of thought into this. If you select individual and it doesn't really work out, you can always upgrade to professional. It's not like you're locked in on any of these, so I wouldn't really be too upset. You can literally change it at any time. One big thing to note with individual shipping is that you cannot offer free shipping, which if you want to get the buy box on Amazon, which we will touch on a little later, then not offering free shipping is going to put you at a disadvantage. So if you do have a lot of inventory to get up, then I would honestly recommend going with the professional plan. And that $39.99 a month is just a business write-off. So what are the fees like on Amazon? On top of these selling plan fees that we just talked about, you're going to have fees on every sale that you make as well. And it's usually going to be 15%. Depending on different categories, it could be a little different, but 15% is a good thing to go off of, and that's what it is for most items. And again, that is for FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant. We are going to dive into FBM and FBA a little later, but basically when you're shipping it yourself, it's most likely going to be 15% taken off on top of whatever selling plan that you have. And if you're doing FBA, it's obviously going to cost extra fees on top of that for Amazon to actually fulfill and ship that product. So before we really dive into Amazon, we need to really talk about Amazon Seller Central. This is where you are able to get everything done, and honestly the app sucks. I don't know what Amazon is doing. I don't know how a company that big with that many sellers doesn't have a good app, but it is extremely glitchy, so just prepare yourself for that. I like to do most everything on the computer because Seller Central on the computer is way smoother and works way better on the computer, and you can get way more done. From this seller app is where you can track your sales, fulfill your orders, find your products to sell, respond to customer questions, and create listings. You can even create them from your phone. Like I said, creating listings from the phone isn't too bad. We're going to show you how to do that in a little bit. That's one of the only things that actually works pretty well. So first, how do we actually list an item on Amazon? Unlike eBay, where we actually have to create our listings, when you're starting out on Amazon, I wouldn't even try to create listings. They are not going to get approved. Even for well-seasoned sellers, usually it's sometimes tough to get a listing approved and get it to rank high up. So really what you're going to want to do is focus on products that already have listings and start with selling those. So how do we look these up? We pull our Amazon Seller app up and we click the little camera icon in the top right and we scan the UPC of the item, and this is going to pull up the exact item. If nothing comes up, then there's usually not a listing. You can also try by manually searching, but this doesn't usually pull a lot. If it's not coming up under the UPC, then it most likely doesn't have it, and it's time to scan something else and move on. Once you're in there, it's super simple. I mean, it is nothing like eBay. It takes no time to list something on Amazon. Once you find an actual product, you can then view on there all the other sellers and what they have it. If they're offering prime shipping or if they're shipping it themselves, you can see all of their prices. And then really all you have to do is set your price, your quantity, if you're doing FBA or FBM, and you list it and you're good to go. Alright, so let's really break down the two ways of selling on Amazon, FBM and FBA. First, let's start with FBM. We've already touched on this a little bit. This is fulfilled by merchant. Like I said, this is just like selling on eBay. You are listing all the inventory, but you are also storing all the inventory and shipping it out just like you would on eBay. And this is going to appear on Amazon Seller Central when you have an order. Basically, it's just going to ding your phone just like eBay does, and then you can go to manage orders and you can print off shipping labels from there. It is super simple. Amazon has reduced rates, and they even have really cheap shipping rates through UPS. So definitely take advantage of those. One thing you'll really want to do when you get on there is set your shipping template. You're going to do this in settings, and you can kind of just set this to however you want. You can exclude certain areas. You can bump up how much you want to charge for expedited shipping, because people will pay for expedited shipping. So I would bump that up on certain areas just to make sure that you don't lose money on that. There's lots of different shipping templates you can use. I would just set it to your liking and whatever makes sense for you depending on what you're shipping. Next, FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. This means that you send your products off to Amazon and they pick, pack, and send off all of your orders without you having to do anything. You just pocket that money. They even deal with all the returns and everything that comes with all of that. So if you're someone that doesn't have a lot of storage and you're able to find inventory, but you just don't have anywhere to store it, or you don't really want to ship it, then FBA is probably going to be the route that you want to take. So how this process really works is you ship your items off to one of Amazon's 175 facilities that they have around the globe. They scan those in. Depending on the time of year, this can take a week to like a month and a half. It really just depends on the time of year and how much stuff they have coming in. Once they scan it in, it becomes available for sale, and you will start to see the sales rolling in, obviously depending on the products and the ranks and everything. Another thing we'll get into a little more later. I'm sorry to keep backlaying all of this. I just have a lot of stuff I want to talk about, and I can't talk about it all at once. So when an order is received, then Amazon will pick it, they will pack it, and they will ship it off to the buyer for you, and you'll see that order in Seller Central. Amazon collects that payment from the buyer, they send it into your funds, and you get paid out every 2 weeks. And like I said, any questions, returns, refunds, it all gets handled by Amazon. Once you send something off to FBA, they are your complete customer service, and they are taking care of everything. So let's talk about this buy box that I mentioned a little earlier. You're probably really confused on what that is, and maybe if you've watched some of these other Amazon videos, they haven't really explained what it is. It's basically just the buy now button on Amazon. So when someone clicks on an item that they want on Amazon and they click buy now, that is the buy box. A lot of people don't know that most of those listings have lots of sellers. They may have 5 to 10 sellers on that, but whichever one has the buy box is going to make the most amount of sales because they have the buy box. Person's clicking buy now on everything on Amazon. They don't scroll down to see other sellers, even if people have it cheaper. Like, a lot of people don't even know that's a thing on Amazon. So getting the buy box on a product can be huge. And honestly, there's lots of myths out there on how to get the buy box, and if you have Prime shipping, you're probably going to get it over someone who doesn't. So someone doing FBA is going to have Prime shipping versus me. I don't do a lot of FBA, I do a lot of FBM, but I'm on a lot of products that aren't actually in high competition. So it really just depends on what kind of business you are trying to run. If you're going after a lot of highly competitive items, you're probably not going to get the buy box, especially with an individual plan. But these are just some of the rumors. Amazon has said that the buy box will rotate, but personally I think they are going to favor those who have Prime shipping and also favor professional accounts over individual accounts, especially since they charge for shipping and professionals are free. And one last thing to note about the buy box is even if you have the lowest price, you are not guaranteed to get the buy box. It's funny, there's a lot of people that have really high prices that have the buy box over people, and they get really mad because they're like, I undercut this person. Well, it doesn't matter because it all depends on the buy box and who Amazon chooses for it. Next, performance metrics. Amazon just wants to make sure that they are delivering high quality service, obviously, because they're a huge logistics company. So this is their way of keeping sellers on track. Basically, you have an order defect rate that needs to be less than 1%, a pre-fulfillment cancel rate that needs to be less than 2.5%, and a late shipment rate less than 4%. And honestly, if you go above this, I really wouldn't worry about it. The more you sell, the lower these are going to become. You're going to have bad buyers. You're going to have buyers that say there's a defect with the item when there really wasn't. They drop off after like 6 months, I believe. I had like 2 straight buyers that said the item was defective. They sent it back and it was perfectly fine. They were just using that to be able to return it. So I wouldn't really worry about that unless you get like tons of something and you really mess up. It's not really going to affect anything. Next, this is a big thing that trips a lot of people up selling on Amazon, is they think they can just sell anything, and it is not like eBay in that way. you have products that are gated and products that are ungated. When you start out, pretty much everything is going to be gated besides books. So what does gated and ungated mean? When I say an item is ungated on Amazon, it means that you are actually able to list that product and sell that product. When it is gated, that means you cannot sell that product until you get a manufacturer invoice of at least 10 items from a distributor of that brand and Amazon approves it. Now, on top of books, there are some other brands that anyone can sell. Really, what I would do when you first get your Amazon account is just go to Walmart and Target and just start scanning random brands just to see what you can actually start out selling. Because once you do make some sales, Amazon will actually start automatically ungating you for some brands. They just need to see that you're a reputable seller. And then they will sometimes auto-ungate you, or even when you hit the ungate button on Amazon, it will actually just put it through without having to put an invoice in, which is really nice. So the more you sell on Amazon, the more they are going to ungate you in. But if there is a brand that you really want to get ungated in, it is not impossible. Literally anyone can do it, even new accounts. Most brands are on Kohl's, and you just need to order 10 of that product. And if they don't send you an invoice, just request an invoice from support, and then you can upload that into Amazon and you'll be good to go. If there's a certain brand you want or anything, feel free to comment it down below and I can try to help out where you can get ungated in that brand. Or honestly, just Google it or put it on YouTube. Like, there's so many videos out there on ungating. I'm not really going to go a ton into that. There's lots of places where to get ungated, and pretty much a lot of people that will just tell you how to get ungated. Even though there's a lot of people that will make you pay for that stuff, don't. It's super easy. One more thing that I actually forgot to mention in here is once you really get into Amazon, you're going to learn that products have product rankings, and the lower they are, obviously the better they are. This depends on the categories though, and usually top 3, top 5% is going to be the best in those categories. But again, it depends on the categories, so I'll put that up. And if you really want the best data on seeing like how many units are selling per month, how many sellers are on this, and how much stock they have, you're really going to need to get one of these research tools like Seller Amp or Keepa, and these will help you make good decisions in what you want to buy. And lastly, returns. If you're doing FBA or FBM, you have to accept returns. That is Amazon policy. Unlike eBay, where I don't accept returns on eBay, and that's why eBay has always been my #1 platform. Expect to get your returns on Amazon. It is just a part of this business. You can do a lot more volume on Amazon than you can on eBay, so it's kind of just a give and take thing that you just kind of have to be okay with, because people can return things for any reason. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. It is a very basic Amazon video for beginners. Again, eBay is my main business, but Amazon is a nice side platform for me, and I think I know enough about it to hopefully have provided some value to you, especially if you are brand new to Amazon and just don't know where to start. I hope this was able to help. If you're interested in my reselling community, you can join that first link in the description. We have in-store leads, online leads, reduced shipping labels, and all kinds of resources for eBay and Amazon. So if you're interested in that, you can join there or learn more from that link as well. There's money to be made at war, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet.